Chapter 11. Spyro lay gasping on the surface of the water lilies as singing struck his head. Amber had gone to get Cinder and the others and had been absent for almost 20 minutes. Where am I? Spyro groaned and looked up at Singe with glazed, groggy eyes. Shh, Singe hushed him gently. You're safe and among friends. That's all you need to know for now. Spyro! Singe's voice came from far outside the pavilion. Cinder? Spyro tried to rise, but was too weak to move much. The sound of beating wings reached his ears, and it was replaced by the sound of running footsteps. Cinder burst out of his room and skidded to a halt. When she saw her mate's valiant amethyst eyes, a smile of pure joy spread across her face. Spyro! She sobbed and practically threw herself onto him. She had to control herself as she stepped delicately onto the lilies and flopped down beside him, smelling his face with kisses. Thank the ancestors you're awake. I was so scared you'd never make it through. Cinder. Spyro wheezed and licked the end of his snout. I'm sorry. His dragon pulled away with tears of delight swimming down her cheeks. She shook her head and her smile seemed to widen. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. She could not restrain herself anymore and pressed her lips against his into a deep and passionate kiss. She missed him so much. His eyes, his voice, his warmth when he was around her. Despite all that had happened, she could bring herself to feel sad anymore. It was then that Max entered the pavilion and knocked on the curtain. When he saw Cinder, he seemed almost frozen and his mouth fell open. Singe glanced at him and noticed the look on his face and fluttered her wings to get his attention. Max snapped out of his trance and locked eyes with the healer. Singe shook her hand Max and felt his heart sink. He breathed a deep, sad sigh and forced a smile onto his muzzle. At that moment, the other guards arrived and nearly shoved Max out of the way. Smiles spread across their mouths when they saw Cinder and Spyro finally reunited. Spyro, you're awake! Sparks flung himself into his brother's cheek and squeezed him as hard as he could. Sparks! Spyro gasped weakly as he turned his head. He had tears to join his eyes as well. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't worry you too much. Nah, Spike laughed. Only had me worried to the point where I worried away for a few years of my life. Nothing major. The guys all laughed, but stopped when Tremor started to cough harshly. It's good to have you back, buddy. Flame spoke up as seeing the other guards walked up beside the lilies. We missed you. I'm sorry, everyone. Spyro shook his head. I didn't mean for this to happen. It's not your fault, Spyro. Spyro replied in her usual gentle, soothing tone. We don't blame you. Leon was playing with your mind. You didn't know any better. Leon. Spyro's voice showed up before his eyes suddenly widened. Warfang! He gasped. What? The guards all stared at one another in confusion. Warfang! It's under attack! Spyro explained, tried to rise, but Cinder seemed to shut him down. No, Spyro. Cinder scolded. You're in no shape to fight. But so than the others. The moles. The members moles. They'll be killed. The bubble dragon continued to struggle against the paws that held him down. You'll be killed for sure if you go, Cinder cried. Please, Spyro, don't. Please. She started to cry again and buried her head in his chest. But Cinder, Spyro stammered, not sure what to do. Help his friends or listen to a dragoness's reason. She's right, you know. Spyro looked up to see Exile step up behind the guardians who made a path for him. Spyro's eyes widened and his muscles tensed. If you were to try and leave in your condition, you would die for sure. He looked at the other dragons who nodded reassuringly. Exile knelt down and placed a hand on Spyro's forehead, which seemed to relax him. The purple dragon sighed and fell back asleep. Cinder wiped her eyes and looked up at Mentor, who smiled and patted her on the head comfortingly. You don't need to worry. All will be well when he wakes up again. But for now, just see to it that he rests. I will. Cinder nodded with a faint smile. Exile bowed and ducked back under the curtain. The other dragons followed him outside when Stella suddenly yelped in pain. Everyone turned to see she had stepped on another rose, this time quite seriously. Max, who had followed, nearly smacked himself in the face. Are you kidding me? He thought to himself. He couldn't be more original than the first idea. He looked at Stella and tried to put on an innocent face. That's a rather sweet yet painful way to get your attention. Yeah, Stella smirked as she looked at Paul. This one dragon keeps leaving them for me every time I turn my back. He's given me a dozen today alone. I see. Max nodded, pretended to be contemplating about the situation. And what do you think of the whole idea of leaving your bouquet here about for you to find? Stella paused for a moment to think and fiddled with the rose between her talons. I think it's very sweet. But now he's got me so curious as to who he is. It's almost killing me. Max pressed his lips together and tapped his cheek with a claw. He gave the area a quick, furious scamper before leaning in close to Stella. If I were you, I'd wait until he leaves you another gift and surprise him yourself, he whispered mischievously, knowing full well he was setting his friend up. However, he knew it was for his own good to get him instead of finally meet face to face. Stella saw through Max's plan and a devilish smile spread across her mouth. I like that idea, she nodded approvingly. I'll do that. What is your name, by the way? Max. The black dragon smiled genuinely and gave a polite bow. Well, thank you, Max. I appreciate the advice. I'm Stella, by the way. She gave a slight bow herself. If you don't mind, I'd like to test out your idea. A slight grin spread across the black dragon's mouth. Go for it, he chuckled. Ty gave a slight chuckle and took us back towards the Guardian's pavilion. Max turned to face the remaining Guardians who all eyed him with great interest. So, Max, Jim was the first to speak. How did you grow to look like that if you don't mind me asking? Max was taken slightly aback by the question. No one had ever been that far with him before, but apparently Trevor was curious of a dragon. Well, Max started to scratch his cheek with a long claw. Stella slowed her run to a graceful walk. She gripped her new roast between her jaws, being cautious not to bite down on it too hard. As she neared the pavilion, she began tropping in an almost flirtatious manner. Just as expected, the roast was waiting for her in front of the pavilion. She smiled in her eyes at the gift. And that makes 12, she thought to herself. She was too excited what she was about to do. Close by, the red dragon appeared around the corner of a nearby pavilion. When he saw Stella coming, he felt his heart leap for joy. He crouched down low in the wet shadows waiting for her to find the rose he left. When the pink guardian had come shortly before, the guardians had all left in a hurry, giving him the perfect opportunity. Now the dragon who had captured his heart was returned to receive another gift from him. He watched Stella gracefully walk out to the pavilion as Stella looked at the rose. The dragon looked around, pretending to be curious about who may have left such an impression for her. The red dragon smiled and pressed himself against the wall a little more. He was about to slink away when Stella stepped the rose and stopped. The young man looked at her curiously. Does she not want it? He thought nervously to himself. Stella looked down at the rose with a smile on her face, which only continued to confuse her admirer. This Stella began to place around the rose in great circles. The red dragon cocked his head sideways, clearly confused about his behavior. He had never seen anything before behave this way. Maybe it's the cause of where she's from, he whispered to himself. He continued to watch Stella struggle the rose. The lightning dragon kept her eyes fixed on the flower. She began to sway her elegant hips from side to side, causing her tail to sway gracefully behind her. The red dragon found herself awestruck at the way she nimbly stepped on her own invisible path. When Stella stopped, she bent her head down before arching her back into a deep stretch. The rays of sun glistened off her scales, giving her an almost celestial glow. The red dragon swallowed hard as he felt his heart rate spike, and his blood began to boil as he took in the sight of her alluring shoulder muscles and seductive back. His tail sway began to rattle against the ground excitedly as Stella rolled her shoulders back and wiggled her hips, letting the lights reflect off her golden yellow scales. But the light didn't die down, it only intensified. The brilliance of Stella's electrical energy blinded the red dragon, and he was forced to turn away and shoot his eyes. It took a moment to focus as the glare slowly died away. He rubbed his eyes and blinked several times to the ground. His vision started clearing and he noticed a golden yellow figure standing in front of him. Slowly his eyes rolled to the sea side, grinning at him excitedly. Oh, he gulped. Gotcha! Stella exclaimed, tugging the red dragon to the ground. The male's eyes grew and he grit his teeth when the guardian pinned him down. He closed his eyes to wait for a strike or a harsh stimulus to slap him across the face. Much to his surprise, he heard giggling. He cracked an eye open and stared up at Stella, who wore a grin spread across her nostril and eyes that glimmered excitedly. So you're the dragon who has been stalking me these past couple of days, she laughed. The red dragon's cheeks burned and the temperature of the air seemed to respond accordingly. How did you know? He stammered, unsure of what the dragoness would do to him. Simple, Stella smiled. She raised one paw and lightly dragged her talons along the red dragon's golden yellow body scales until her paw was over his heart. You see, every creature has an electric pulse, and I can sense that pulse in the air. When you started getting excited, the pulse grew stronger, so it pretty much led me right to you. Oh, the dragon gulped again. I guess I kinda did myself in. Stella giggled again. Nah, I figured if you were around my little display it would get your attention. You're just male. Both dragons laughed and found themselves staring down at each other when their belly scales bumped against each other. So, Stella continued, why are you leaving me so many gifts lying about? Her tone of voice made the red dragon's heart beat faster, and a smile tugged at her cheeks as she noticed. He swallowed hard. I was just trying to get you to notice me. He chuckled nervously. I figured that much, Sad smirked. But I think that was established after the first couple roses. Oh, the dragon muttered, unsure of how she should be feeling. Tail laughed again, putting the red dragon's mind at ease. You don't need to worry about it too much. I think a dozen roses to give my dishes very sweet of you. Really? The dragon sat up slightly, almost bringing his nose to Stella's. The London dragon nodded. So you really like them? I've kept each one, haven't I? The red dragon shrank back sheepishly and gave a silly grin. Though I have to say, even though it was sweet, I'm not a big fan of the stalker approach. Oh, sorry. The red dragon averted his eyes. It's alright. So I gave him a playful bump with her snout. You didn't know? So it's not a big deal. It was still sweet bringing me flowers like you did. Well, the dragon was beginning to blush again. So what's your name? So asked as he stepped off of him. Or as she stepped off of him. He slowly got to his feet, giving Stella her first good look at him. She could immediately tell that he was younger than she was, but that hadn't stopped her from initiating a friendship. His scales were deep crimson, and the reflection of light of his golden yellow belly scales giving it utmost fiery air. His claws were longer than most males, and matched jet black horns surrounded his head. A row of 5 yellow spines raked back from his forehead and stopped at the base of his spine. The last thing Sam noticed were the sunspots along his snout, known as dragon freckles. These two sunspots gave him an almost innocent appeal, making him look younger than he really was. I'm in furnace, he told Sally. I hadn't been asked about who he was. Sally blinked the coat and shook her head. Is everything alright? The red dragon asked, turning his head towards her. Yeah, Sarah replied. It just took you by surprise. I know of a dragon now back home with the same name. I see, Infernus nodded. I can see how that would be a bit odd. He gave a youthful laugh and said couldn't help but smile. It's a pleasure to see you, Infernus. I'm Stella. I'm glad to finally be able to talk to you, Stella. Infernus' smile spread from one side of his face to the other. He was easily the happiest dragon in the world right now.